Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about demons and shinobis. So yeah, let us begin, ladies and gents. So, from the last episode, we currently see now Izuku going with his father, aka Kiryu, as Kiryu would say this. So, son, I wanted to ask, he would say, as Izuku would look at him and just says, "What?" As he would say this, about your arm. I do. I did hear you about you defeating, and I quote, God, or at least that's what the reports say about you. But still, your arm, as he would say this, I'm fine with it. It's a necessary sacrifice. Whatever. Let's just get going. As after saying that, he would start leaving to go towards where they're supposed to go. As he would say this, fine, but just follow me, okay? As he would say this, fine, got it, old man. So, after arriving at just a dead end, as Izuku would say this, is this some sort of joke? As he would say this, no. Look, as he would basically wipe, or at least, look, or at least feel around the wall, as the wall, or at least a piece of the wall, would basically start to, be pushed in. After it did, he would see that would start to open, or at least the wall would start cracking. Not really cracking, but more like, opening like a door. As he would say, what in the, as he would say this, come on, let's go, he would say. As he would say this, right, he would say. As after saying so, he would start going inside there. After a while of walking, he would finally arrive at at their destination, being that of a large dojo, or, something that resembles a dojo. It's more like something that resembles that of a traditional Japanese house. As after going inside there, he would say this. So, welcome to our secret dojo, Izuku, he would say. As Izuku would say this. Interesting. Though I seen better stuff like this last time. Or at least back in my home. As he would say this. I see. Anyway, we should probably get inside. And so, after saying that, they would basically open the door, or at least, the paper screen door, as when they open it, it would be quite a surprise. He would see Kagura. Well, not Kagura, I meant, Katsuragi, I meant. As we would see Katsuragi doing stuff with Asuka's chest. You can probably guess what it is because, it's Katsuragi for obvious reasons. As, Asuka would say this. Stop, Katsuragi, stop! She would say, as she would say this. Aw, please stop that. Besides, I absolutely love touching the mound, she would say. As while this was happening, Izuku would just be a blushing mess. As he would say, the fuck is this? He would say. As he would say this, specifically, our boy Kiryu. Izuku, as he would say this. You're a disgusting old man, he would say. As he would say this. Son! As he would basically be surprised after hearing that. As the girls, and including, that of, as Kagura would say this, can you please stop? And besides, it seems that we have a visitor, she would say. As everybody would look towards the screen door, as they would see a now blushing Izuku as he's glaring daggers towards, Kiryu. As he would say this. That's your daily routine? Basically watching, oh god, I can't believe I'm actually related to you, he would say. As Kiryu would say, it's not like that, I swear, he would say. As he would say this, no, get away from me, he would say. As currently we also see Asuka, as Asuka would say this, get off me, as she would basically, run away from, after getting out of her grasp, as she would say this. Oh, hey Izuku, she would say, as he would say this. Yeah, hello there, Asuka. What the fuck happened, you would say? As she would say this. Oh, yeah, Katsuraki sometimes do that. I mean, actually, yeah, she always does that. As you'd say this. And you're okay with it, you would say? As she would say this. Well, no, I absolutely hate it, and as you would say this, then why not report it to the principal? As she would say this, well, as you would also see, Ikagura, not Ikagura, I meant Katsuragi, as we would see Katsuragi, as she would say this. Hey, it isn't that bad, she would say, as you would say this. Really? Then why did she look completely uncomfortable and... Ugh, God, no. Just get away from me, he would say. As after saying that, another person would arrive, being that of Hanzo, as he would say this. So you finally arrived, he would say. As he would say this. Hello there, Mr. Hanzo, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, ho, ho, don't worry, boy. You can just call me Hanzo. Anyway, now we can finally talk. As after saying that, he would basically sit down, or should I say kneel down, as Izuku would as well, as he would say this. So, boy, I wanted to ask about this organization that you work for. Considering that your family doesn't really want to talk with me currently, and some of our spies or ninjas that came to try and talk to them, well, let's just say it wasn't fun for them. So, if you mind me asking, can I, at least talk about it, or, tell me a bit about the organization's details or things like that, you would say? As you would say this. Nonchalantly saying it doesn't seem like a ninja way to do it, but... unless if I have permission, I will not, as before he can say anything else, he would get a call from his father? Not father, I meant, his uncle. As after seeing the call, or at least seeing that it's a call, he would say, can you please let me, leave for now? As he would say this. Fine, fine, boy, he would say. As after saying so, he would basically leave as he would get a call from his, uncle. As we would, just see Kirya and, Hanzo basically just talking as he would say this. So, did you get a bit of a talk with your son, or as he would say this? Well, if you call a talk as in, literally getting verbal abused by him, well, yes. Now he thinks that I'm some sort of, pervert that watches young girls doing that, he would say. As he would say this. Well, I mean, he probably got the wrong description. It should have been my description, actually, he would say. As he would say this. Seriously? As we would go back to Izuku, as Izuku came back, as he would just look at them, as he would say this. I just got a call from my uncle. He said no. And also, I would rather not tell you anything. And also, he told me that apparently he wanted to, and I quote, wanted to talk to you, Kirya. As he would say this. Can you at least just call me Dad? As he would say this. Like I said, old man, I'm no way calling you that, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, God. As he would say this. So, what time? As he would say this. Probably tomorrow afternoon. And as for you, I'm not telling you anything about the organization. At all, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, fine, but instead of that, maybe we can let you, train a little bit with Team Hanzo, he would say. As he would say this. Duh. Fine. As after saying that, he would look towards the others, as one of them would say this. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on, as we would currently see Yagyu, as she would say this. Guess I'll just be the one to do this, she would say. As she would stand up, wielding her, her umbrella. as she would say this. So, may I ask you to battle me, Midoriya-san, she would say. As he would say this, you don't have the right to call me that. Just call me anything else than that. As she would say this. Fine then, she would say, as she would just look at him. As Izuku would say this. Fine then. So where are we going to fight, he would say. As she would say this. There. As she would point towards a nearby like screen door again. As he would look towards the screen door as he would open it, revealing a large arena, as he would say this. Huh. Though I was wondering, how big is this place actually? As one of them would say this, specifically our boy, being that of Hanzo, as he would say this. I think about a few dozen meters. As he would say, how? As he would say this. Ninja magic, he would say. As he would say this. Of course, the fuck does that supposed to mean, he would say to himself. As, after saying so, Yagyu would basically jump down as she would say this. But before we actually start fighting, I wanted to ask you this. No using of your demons. That's all, she would say. As he would say this. Fine. That seems like a fair trade. Though, I should warn you. Let's just say I'm not really nice of a person when it comes to fights, you would say. As he would basically walk down the stairs, as one of them would say this. Being that of Hibari, she would say, good luck, Yagyu-chan, she would say. As after saying that, we would now see Yagyu have a trickle of blood on your nose, as you would say. Yes, Hibari, she would say, as she would basically give up a thumbs up. As he would say this. Are you going to fight now, he would say. As she would say this. Fine. Now, Shinobi transformation, she would say. As after saying that, she would get her clothes ripped off. As Izuku would say, the fuck, he would say. As her body would start being changed. More specifically, she would gain this costume, or at least, this type of wear. Yeah. And after the Shinobi transformation, as she would say this. So, are you ready for a fight, she would say, wielding her umbrella, as he would say this. First of all, I don't even want to ask why. Just why? Anyway, if you're looking for a fight, guess I'll have to fight then. As after saying that, he would basically gets ready, as he would say this. Now, convert, he would say. As after saying that, as his body would start being engulfed in darkness, as after it fully subsided, it would burst open, similar to how a piece of rock basically, gets turned into, smaller stones. After doing so, it will be revealed to be Izuku in his combat clothing with his mechanical arm and, face mask. As one of his eyes would start, burning a bright red. As he would say this. Now, let's have some fun, he would say. As he will be wielding his sword, or at least his, knife, Innocence, aka the Alice, sword or weapon from, DX2. Which, if you've forgotten, looks like this. As he would basically grab out his, his Alice, Innocence knife. Which, yeah, I'm probably just gonna call it the Alice knife for now. As after saying so, he would basically jump into action. As he would say this. Now, let's have some true fun, he would say. As after saying that, he would scream out, now, gotcha, he would say. As after saying that, as several blackened tentacles with, purple-ish, particles would come out of this, blade, as it would rush towards, Yagyu. Yagyu would basically use her, umbrella as a shield, but it would basically knock her down a little bit. Or at least knock her, a little bit, backwards. As one of them would say this. Whoa, she got pushed back, said one of them. As Izuku would say this. That's so tough now. I guess it's time for me to show you how much of a difference you and I are. And so, this is where we're gonna be ending this episode. So yeah, hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye!